So I was scheduled to do my first book workshop for Push to Purpose at Brown University, and the day before there was a snowstorm, and my flight got canceled, and I just felt like, this is a sign. My book, I need to get there. It's so unprofessional that I'm not there. It ruins the experience for the attendees and my brand and everything, and I was really just freaking out and being so hard on myself. And Haley, Haley Hoffman Smith, she's the president of Women's Entrepreneurship at Brown, was telling me that I can still deliver and that people will still enjoy it, and I can do it over video. And I was like, does video ruin it? What if it lags? Will people actually respect me or just be on their phones on Twitter? And I realized that since I wasn't going to be there, a really good way to create a connection between me and the audience was to have them do exercises in the workshop. And my workshop had over 50 people in each group. And then after it ended, all I could do on my end was be like, hey guys, thanks for having me, bye, hang up. And I was like, oh no, did it go well? And then I just the LinkedIn messages kept pouring in. It was just people being like, hey Ezra, really, really enjoyed your workshop, thought it was so inspiring, would love to intern for Arzo, would love to, if there's an application for that, would love to buy a copy of your book. Is it out yet? So I thought, the experience was so terrible, but people were just, overwhelmed by what Push to Purpose had to offer them, that it wasn't about me anymore. One of the things in the introduction that I think resonates with anyone who reads it is after surviving the terrorist attack and living through a coup, I grouped everything into these different categories. And my biggest takeaway was that literally nothing matters unless it does. And that's a sentence in the book. And I think that that's my attitude for everything is I'm surrounded by a lot of millennials who place a great amount of value on the difference between A- and a B+, or where they get their degree from or their next internship. And I see life as more of a combination of, our passions and our interests, and what we give time to says a lot about us and reflects a lot on us. So I try to spend time on things that matter, that help people, that create value, whether it's tangible or not. I don't take anything for granted, and I think every day I try to think of, if this was my last week, if this was my last day, am I doing things that matter? And old me, when I was just a student and just working on getting that A or getting that paper in, would have said, what am I doing with my life? But now, I help women in politically terrible countries that struggle to support the woman financially.
Yani turizm gitgide yavaşlıyor. Çok dışarıdan insan gelmiyor artık. Ve biz zorlanıyoruz. Hem yaşamakta hem kazanmakta. Ve Arzu projesi bize yardımcı oluyor.
I've helped support a lot of women in that way. I've helped mentor a lot of women. Now I've put out a book almost on advice for women, and I'm working on a professional network to support creatives. So I think at the end of the day, I am always reevaluating my purpose and making sure that I help marginalized communities and help those who need it, and I'm using my privilege and my power to give back. So I'm always aware of the fact that everything is a blessing and not a right. And I think that a lot of people, they spend time on things that I think at the end of the day they would regret.
I always tell people there's sort of a journey every author goes through, and we put some sort of milestones along the way. And it was interesting to watch you, because I think you've always been very authentic in your journey of these things. There's a timeline, and deadlines drive action, but in some senses you also have to be self-aware enough to say, I'm not ready. It's not that I'm not doing it, but I'm not ready. And I think it's been interesting to watch you sort of never say no, but always say, give me a minute.
Yeah.
And I think
give me an hour.
Yeah, give me an hour or give me a minute. And I think that's important to sort of know that I'm going to do this, I'm going to finish this sort of thing.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it is, that honing, that focus has been cool to sort of watch.
Yeah. And I think I always told myself, whatever I start, I'm going to finish. It's just when.
Right.
But I had to make sure that I wasn't holding back on this book just because I was nervous about putting it out. And I think that was a part of it for a while. I've wanted more interviews. I wanted more research. I wanted to edit it for, I don't know, the next year. But, you know, your first book at 20, it's supposed to be what it is, you know? And I think that one of the things you made me realize is, like, you can keep writing. You can write another book. You can write an edited version of this book. But it's important to put work out there